Clay and Shay, we're continuing to watch any spin-ups too. Right now, the primary threat is flooding.
All right, we begin at Fox 23 News at 10. Closely watching strong storms. Tornado warnings just dropped in the Tulsa area. I'm Clay Loney.
And I'm Shay Rossi. Now, we showed you this video live from Tulsa International Airport as high winds and heavy rain moved through Tulsa. And check this out, video of twin tornadoes that popped up earlier this afternoon near Kingfisher County. Wow.
Let's get right back to Chief Meteorologist James Adelot and his team tracking storms right now in the Fox 23 Severe Weather Center.
Yeah, I understand we do have a lot of power outages too across parts of eastern Oklahoma. Brad's going to combine those numbers up for you here in just a bit. We've got 3 active severe thunderstorm warnings, Ottawa County, northern parts of Delaware County. Also, we've got 1 severe thunderstorm warning from around Adair and Pryor right through Claremore down into South Tulsa. Another severe thunderstorm warning for Leonard and Bixby. And there, I just mentioned, talking about having some power outages. We just took a bump here. Takes a little while to cycle up and get back on our generator. But I think everything's going to be back except the air conditioner here at Fox 23. So, yes, at least it's cooler outside. We continue to see at least some of those strong thunderstorms to severe thunderstorms now right through this area and continuing to move to the northeast. We've got the leading edge of this moving northeast. That's going to be moving up into parts of Mays and southern Craig County. The strongest part of this cell continues to move to the northeast up through the middle of this warning too. That's going to be moving up toward Catoosa, Tiger, Port of Catoosa, Verdigris, Iowa, and toward Claremore. Let me zoom in and go right into the city of Tulsa because we have been tracking a few of these little kind of shear spots on the leading edge of these storms. First of all, what's moving into Tulsa is just more heavy rain. That's not good news, but at least it's not rotating too bad. As we look back into Broken Arrow, we tracked that little weak circulation that moved kind of across Bixby, now moving up into Broken Arrow. Again, it's not super strong. We've had some other rotation south of Coweta, between Coweta, Haskell, and Redbird. That has crossed the Muskogee Turnpike and continues to move a little bit in the general direction of Wagoner. If it gets much stronger, of course, might be required to fire up another tornado warning or two. But remember, these are not big supercell tornadoes like we saw in parts of southwest Oklahoma. What we have seen are these brief spin-up tornadoes like the one we saw close to Tulsa International Airport. These things are only lasting 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes tops before they start to weaken and fall apart. But once they make one spin-up tornado, they're kind of prone to make 2 or 3 spin-up tornadoes, just kind of one after another. So main threat, of course, flooding. We're watching for those spin-up tornadoes, but they're not the big tornadoes. So that at least is some good news. Our team coverage continues with Fox 23 certified meteorologist Laura Mock. And Laura, still tracking these thunderstorms, and the atmosphere is still really prone to cause these storms to rotate a bit.
Absolutely. And as you were going through a lot of the activity that's been going on across the metro, I took a look to the south and I saw one more spot that we're going to have to watch for some rotation. This is coming out of Okmulgee County, just to the southeast of Hectorville. As this continues to the north, it could get on the east side of Bixby. So as we take a look at this, you can really pick out where that rotation is. And as we come in a little bit closer, I'll be able to turn on some of the velocity with that, and we'll be able to see those reds and greens pretty close together. So as we come in, northern portions of Okmulgee County, getting ready to move into the southern part of Tulsa County. Here we are, Bixby Road, Ferguson Road. Here's Winchester, Bald Hill, Hectorville. Looks like things have wrapped up a little bit, but we'll take a look at the velocity with that. And it does look like we do still have some of that rotation still evident just to the east of Bixby Road, about to cross Ferguson Road. So this is what we're looking at. And actually, as I bring this back in time, you'll be able to see how that rotation has continued. It started off fairly weak as it was coming out of the Preston area, as it was going to the east of Bald Hill, but it started wrapping up a little bit tighter as we got closer to Bixby Road and Ferguson Road. So as we come in, definitely going to be an area to watch. As we can put a track on this pretty quick. It's moving pretty well to the northeast, talking Leonard just after 10:15, and then eventually into the southeast side of Broken Arrow, potentially getting up into the Warren Theater area, Childers Middle School area, just before 10:30. So no tornado warning with that right now, but That's just what we have to deal with tonight, is watching these areas of rotation for the potential of a tornado. That is just the kind of night that it is. We've already seen a couple of tornado warnings issued already this evening, and we're going to be on alert for even more to come through the area too. And of course, we still have the issue of flooding and just general severe thunderstorms too. So this is going to be a very long night for us. And as we continue our Fox 23 severe weather team coverage, we're continuing to watch everything behind the scenes. And James, this is going to be something that we have to watch for the next several hours.
Indeed, and we're still watching this core over Broken Arrow that's prompted that big severe thunderstorm warning, and that's starting to look like it may have a little bit of hail in it right now too. We've got updated power outage numbers, and of course the rain just continues to fall right now across the metro area, and that's why the flash flood warnings continue to extend southward and southward as this line of thunderstorms slowly moves to the south as well. Let's check in with Fox 23 certified meteorologist Brad Carl.
Yeah, I was just looking at PSO's outage map they have in terms of how many power outages they have. And although we took a power hit here, the outages in Tulsa itself and most of the metro are pretty spotty. They're not really concentrated in one spot or another, but there are a few kind of here and there. Also about 100 over in Sand Springs. The big one, though, is over in Owasso, where some 3,000 customers are without power right now. They are still assessing any kind of damage to the system there and don't have an estimate right now on how soon it will take for that power to get restored. Of course, remember at home, if you happen to lose power due to any of the conditions outside, remember you can always still tune into us on your Fox 23 weather app or on the Fox 23 news app and continue watching our streaming coverage. That's true of this event and any other event as well. Also, other spots that we've been getting reports of flooding. Pawhuska, once again, sheriff reports there significant flooding in town. Looks like throughout much of downtown. There are some lower spots in there, and those spots along Main Street and Lynn Avenue are the two we've heard about in particular to watch out for. Now, as far as other spots we are continuing to watch, Utica in between 4th and 5th in Tulsa closed due to some high water there. Actually have a reporter on the scene getting some more information. Katie Doherty will be providing that to you in a little bit. But that is closed, and there also was a car that was actually trapped in some of that high water too. Lots of heavy rain to our north sky, now above 5 inches of rain in the last 24 hours. James, I'll toss it back over to you.
Yeah, we now look like we may have a tornado down in northeastern parts of Okmulgee County right now. Let's get a high-resolution Doppler radar. It's not much. There's a little bit of lowering in correlation coefficient right now. That's as we look right into this storm right in here. Let's go to reflectivity. And again, we're watching in that spot right in here. So there's a little bit of a little deal here. Look at the rotation, how that's really wound up. Very bright green next to very bright red, and that is our tornado, and that is the debris that's being lofted up into the radar beam right now. So we spotted this tornado. Now we've got an official tornado warning in effect for Okmulgee, Tulsa, Wagner County. Now this is far southeastern parts of the county. Let me kick out of that briefly, and I'm going to go back to reflectivity so you can see the new tornado warning. It does clip the far southeastern edge of Broken Arrow right now. It clips far southeastern parts of Bixby. Now, we're talking the parts of Bixby that are east of Mingo Road, so you're going to be fine, especially Memorial and west in Bixby. So if we've got a tornado, in fact, we do, confirmed, it's located right in here. So we saw that tornado develop on Fox 23 Doppler radar, and there is the track of this storm as it moves to the northeast, about 30 to 35 miles per hour. Again, moving right up there close to NSU Broken Arrow. Here's Coweta at 1031. Coweta's kind of on the edge of this polygon, but respect the polygon too. New tornado warning also for another circulation here west of Wagner. You just saw that one pop on the screen. I'm going to do an updated track for it just to the west of Wagner, and this is going to be very close to the city of Wagner too. If you are in Wagner, you need to take your tornado precautions right now. This storm is moving right up your way. Let me get out of the way of the track here and we'll lay it down. And we're talking toward Wagner, Lilietta, Rocky Point, toward Yonkers there on the north side of Fort Gibson Lake. Citizen report from emergency management of a tornado down in Okmulgee County with this storm. Let's go back to high resolution Doppler radar, and we'll go right back into this storm, tracking where we could be seeing that tornado down with it right now. as we look back at reflectivity or at velocity right now, this is what we're looking at right here. So that is some very strong rotation. I've lost the signal for lofted debris right now. I don't see debris being lofted by the storm, but as we look at velocity, this is about the strongest velocity we have seen all night as it moves right up very close. Here's Big Selma Lake, here's Stone Bluff, here is Leonard. So you got Leonard Mountain right in here too. And as this moves across Highway 64 from Leonard up towards Stone Bluff, this is going to continue moving to the east-northeast. So we can actually, looks like most of the city of Bixby not in this tornado warning polygon. So we're going to be watching this one closely. Again, getting another update too on this. Okay, we've got our debris signature right back. We've got lofted debris, so we've got a tornado down with this storm right now. You can see very bright reds, bright greens right next to that. It's embedded in probably some very heavy rain. But as we kick back over to dual pole Doppler radar, this tells us the diversity of stuff in the radar beam. If we've got a tornado down, you've got leaves and sticks thrown up into the radar beam. A very diverse target. That's why we've seen this correlation coefficient, is what this is called, drop very quickly. So that's how we're able, even without a spotter there, to diagnose the fact that we've got a tornado down with this storm. Now, latest velocity, the inbounds are just a little bit weaker here. We'll continue to get an update. We should be getting a correlation coefficient update here in just a second as we get another sweep on Fox23 Doppler radar. But this is just south of Big Selma Lake, just approaching the Tulsa, Okmulgee, and Wagner County line. If you're in Stone Bluff, Big Selma Lake, Leonard area, you need to take your tornado precautions right now. This has already produced a tornado in extreme northeastern parts of Okmulgee County. Let's zoom right in here. And again, we're looking just right at the county line. That's this location here. So we've had a tornado down right in here. This is debris lofted up in the radar, that green and the blue right there. Still, as we look at velocity, we've got very strong outbounds going away from the radar right now, and those inbounds continue as well. I'm going to take this back and do an updated track on the storm. We'll go back to reflectivity first of all, and I'm going to show you exactly where that storm is. Again, right on the county line, moving to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour, and that's going to take it right up toward Oneida and Coweta. Phil, if you could turn our transmitter camera around and point that way, that would be fantastic. If we've got a tornado still down with it, it's going to be kind of right along the county line, again, between Wagner, Tulsa, and Okmulgee County. We can almost give the all clear to Okmulgee as this tornado moves out of Okmulgee in the general direction of Stone Bluff. Now, I want to take another quick look at the high-resolution Doppler radar. Let me clear that off. We go back to high-resolution Doppler radar. Again, we're looking right in here. There's Big Selma Lake again, Leonard, Stone Bluff. I don't see a signal for lofted debris. Now, that doesn't mean that the tornado isn't down right now. We'll check velocities, but thankfully velocities are significantly weaker looking with the storm right now. Go back again to correlation coefficient. Don't see signs of lofted debris. There's a lot of rain falling right here too, but this is going to pass well to the southeast of Bixby. Good news is for Leonard and Stone Bluff and right around Big Selma and on top of Leonard Mountain, this thing appears to have lost a lot of organization as it moved to the northeast, but still some pretty strong rotation. It's just weaker than it was before. Now, just got another, Brad, I'm still looking at all these flood reports and closed roads coming in now, and that tally is growing immensely. 169 now closed in Nowata County, 9 from 19th to 21st. So, yeah, let's go back over to the Wagner tornado warning too. Thank you, Laura. As that storm continues very close to the south side of Wagner right now. Let me adjust the storm motion vector on here. That rotation also a little bit weaker right in here. We'll check reflectivity. It's, yeah, let me back this up just a little bit. Yeah, I'm not really sure, but it does not appear that we've had a tornado down with it, at least according to the correlation coefficient, which kind of given where we are all the way into Wagner County. Let me run this back up to the current picture right now. Circulation kind of on the southeast side of Wagner, and again, if it continues moving to the northeast, it's going to be very close to Fort Gibson Lake here very soon as it goes just to the north of State Highway 51. That's 251C that goes straight east out of Wagner right through here. You can actually see 3-4 mobile home parks here too. So y'all need to really heads up as this moves to the northeast. Still could produce that tornado. So our tornado warnings that are in effect, 1045 for basically that circulation that's moving up towards Stone Bluff that looked a little bit weaker. That's going to be until 1045. This circulation south of Wagner, moving to the northeast into parts of northwestern Cherokee County and southern Mays County, that is a tornado warning that's in effect until 11 o'clock. So it looks like at least the first circulation weakened. This one, well, it's still there. It's not quite as strong as it was when it prompted the tornado warning. Again, looking correlation coefficient, really no significant sign that we've got something down with it. Let me update the track on it though. Come back over, and since it is a valid tornado warning, we'll put that track on. This circulation looks definitely weaker for us as this one moves to the northeast. It's going to be kind of clipping that southeastern corner of Mays County, well to the southeast of Choteau and Pryor, and to the northwest corner of Cherokee County. So it's going to be basically up toward Rocky Point and Yonkers on the north side of Fort Gibson Lake right now. More heavy rain continues to fall in the metro area, so while we continue to track these couple of tornado warnings, kind of want to check in with Brad. Brad, you've been looking not only at power outages, but some of these rainfall totals that have been just piling up on us.
Yeah, they really have. And what's really been impressive is, Pawnee was kind of way out in front with a lot of just how much rainfall had been coming down with upwards around 4.5 inches at one point. Now is up closer to around 5.5 inches with a spot in the metro, or at least in the edge of the metro, that has caught on up as well. So you pretty much have Pawnee and Skiatook in the 5.5-inch range. This is some serious rainfall, being able to stack up that much rainfall in a very short amount of time over just the last several hours, which pretty much is leading to this flash flooding. The water has nowhere else to go. This is a very dangerous situation for those folks in those spots as well, as that water does continue to rise, and we have these widespread flash flood warnings in many of these spots too. So not good for driving, not good for low-lying areas. On the plus side for both these locations, the tornado threat for you has really passed. So now all you have to worry about is the flooding, but that is certainly becoming an increasing threat for you as that rainfall continues to stack up in both those spots and areas farther north in Osage County, in Washington County. Any of those spots, you continue to see more of that really heavy rainfall piling on up. Winona, just below about 5 inches, so that's also in Osage County. A little bit farther off to the east, Talala checking in at 4.5 inches. If you remember just a couple weeks ago, that's the same area where we also saw upwards around 5 inches of rain around portions of Nowata and Nowata County. So lots of water there, and we certainly have been seeing that as a popular spot for all that water to be showing on up. Oilton now just under 4 inches for you, and North Tulsa at the Mesonet site right around the 2-inch mark. So everyone's seeing the rainfall stacking on up, but as expected, the pronounced area of this really heavy rainfall and the flash flooding threat has been to the north and northwest of Tulsa. Now, even though Tulsa is on the low end of this list for right now, this is once again all going into the Arkansas River watershed. So it's going to go behind Keystone Dam on into Keystone Lake, which only has so much space to work with. We've already been releasing a lot of water down the Arkansas River, much as we can. It's still going to stay high the next several days with rainfall like this. And the concern now will be for additional flooding possible in some of those spots because we just have not been able to drain a lot of our rivers and lakes and dams. It's been more of a big problem for us. So yes, we still have the rainfall threat for us going on into the overnight hours for sure, and we're still tracking a few of these small little brief spin-up tornadoes like James has been tracking a little farther off to the south. So that's something we continue to watch. To also give you an idea of just where else we're seeing a lot of that rainfall stacking on up. Once again, the mesonet site close to around 2 inches there. No water checking in at about 3.5 inches, and then far less farther off to the south. But that line of storms that you can see on the left-hand side of your screen is going to continue sagging farther off to the south. So even though you may not necessarily be in a spot dealing with flash flooding right now, if these storms continue to train over, say, where you live for hours upon hours upon hours, you then will be dealing with potential for flash flooding. We've been kind of watching this slowly chug its way farther and farther off to the southeast. So not a whole lot really south of I-44, but over the next several hours and overnight, we do expect to see more of this rainfall continue, and that's going to lead to additional flooding possible going on into our Tuesdays. That will certainly be something for us to watch. Now you can see with on the left-hand side of your screen there, a lot of that edge of that rainfall farther off to the south now, and that's really where we're seeing that boundary setting on up, giving us that chance for some of those tornadoes and brief spin-ups to be occurring, including the one that we confirmed on radar via that actual debris tracker. We're actually picking up some debris. On the plus side, these tornadoes have been pretty short-lived for us overall. The threat that we had earlier in the day of these long-track tornadoes, the storms really weren't able to root themselves into the atmosphere. And though they had all the ingredients they needed in the world, if you can't root in the bottom part of the atmosphere, really tap into that energy, you won't get big tornadoes. And that seemed to be the case across much of Oklahoma. We had a few exceptions with a couple stronger tornadoes in there, but overall this day could have been much, much more active on the tornado front had those storms been able to tap in just a little bit more. They were trying and trying and trying and just weren't able to realize that potential. That's a good thing, but now we're seeing this threat switch from more of the discrete tornado threat to this more widespread flooding threat, and it's over the areas where we've been continuing to see a lot of rainfall, not just today or on Saturday, but earlier on over the last couple weeks as well, causing a lot of problems. Now, James, you're continuing to track this tornado warning off to areas around Coweta and areas off toward Wagner as well, in addition to the heavy rainfall that awaits the rest of Great Country. Yeah,
just had another report, the A.B. Joel water plant there on the east side of Tulsa, up to 4 inches of rain in 3 hours. So the heavy rain and the flash flooding continues. Left side of your screen, this is our Broken Arrow tower cam. We're looking down over the Armory and the Muskogee Turnpike, and you can see nearly continuous lightning out of that. The reason we're looking that way, there's another one of those very weak circulations that continues to slide slowly to the northeast right now, and it's between Coweta and Oneida, but that's a lot of lightning out of that thunderstorm out there, and it's pretty close to those tall towers. Now, as we look again, we still have an active tornado warning southeast Tulsa County. We've got tornado warning in parts of Wagner County right now, too, as we watch that slowly move to the northeast. The update on those tornado warnings, again, for Wagner, Broken Arrow area, the Wagner County and Broken Arrow area, that tornado warning is in effect until 10:45, so that one's going to be gone soon. The rotation much, much weaker with that. We still have a tornado warning in effect for parts of Wagner County, northwestern sections of Cherokee County, and southeastern Mays County. Now does not include Delaware County. Took the little bite right out of the polygon right there. So that's not in effect. We still have that rotation kind of in that northeastern corner of Wagner County. In fact, if anything, that one's gotten a little bit stronger as it's moved to the northeast away from the city of Wagner right now. So a little bit of rotation here. We've got some inbounds, some outbounds. In fact, a stronger outbound starting to sweep in right there as well. So we're going to continue to watch that storm as it moves to the northeast, but it appears to be kind of right in the extreme northeastern corner of Wagner County. This is right on the Neosho River between Yonkers and Whitehorn Cove. As we look at that, let's zoom in right now. And again, we look right up into the northeastern corner of Wagner County now, and there's the Yonkers community. So our rotation's kind of right in here. Still pretty solid rotation, still pretty strong as this storm has generated rotation too. We'll expand the view. I want to do an updated track on this storm too as it moves to the northeast. So here's the track right up across the county line. Moving to the northeast, we'll take this at about 30 miles per hour. Yonkers, Pegs, Snake Creek. We still have a little rotation here between Coweta and Oneida. Let me clear off that track. We'll zoom in And check that out. Look at all the lightning out of this storm. This is the one over Broken Arrow right now. As we look right into this storm, let me kick over to velocities and we'll take a look and see what we kind of see with this storm. So Coweta, Oneida, it looks like that circulation may be just a little bit weaker. Quick check of high resolution Doppler radar. I'm going to move that back over. We're still sitting on that Wagner County storm. It looks like as we come up, the good news is here that Tulsa County tornado warning and Wagner, Western Tulsa County tornado warning, is that out just yet? So that's does not look like that's on anymore. So that's maybe a little bit of good news. Can't find the rotation in that storm, so it certainly is good news for us as we watch that move to the northeast right now. We still have incredible amounts of rain falling across the area too. As we look to the northeast, we also not seeing the original rotation from that, looking between Coweta and Oneida, and that rotation thankfully is a lot weaker too. So we kind of have this one tornado warning in far eastern parts of Wagner County that's just getting ready to move over the county line and cross into parts of Cherokee County and eventually southeastern sections of Mayes County too. Let me take you over there first. We'll zoom out and run that all the way over to at least the tornado warning that's in effect till 11 o'clock. So these are the tornado warnings, and this, if we're going to see additional tornado warnings, this is where we're going to see them, on the leading edge of this big complex of thunderstorms as it moves toward the southeast. So let's take a little closer look back into this storm as it moves in the general direction of Pegs. Right in here. And if we have any rotation and a tornado, at least potential, it's going to be right up here in the northeast corner of Wagner and the extreme northwest corner of Cherokee County. And this is actually likely going to just step over the county line as it moves into southern parts of Mayes County too. Again, this is going to be southeast of Choteau and Pryor, southeast of Maisie Landing, but that's going to be our circulation right in here. So if we've got a part of this thunderstorm that's going to produce a tornado, it's going to be right here on that kind of triple area where we've got Mayes County, Wagner County, and Cherokee County all coming up together. So as that moves to the northeast, looks like the center of Locust Grove not in the tornado warning polygon, but Pegs, you are. You're going to have to watch this one really closely as it moves your way. As we've seen so far, these thunderstorms continue to develop and they continue to weaken, and then they will start to flare up again. A quick look at high resolution Doppler radar. We'll zoom into this storm. Again, it looks like it's just about to move across the county line. We'll look at velocities. We got some really strong, tight velocity right in here. We check correlation coefficient. Again, I don't see strong evidence that we have lofted debris, but that's actually a really quite tight rotation taking place right there. Pretty strong too. So this is one we're definitely going to keep watching as it moves across the Neosho River into Cherokee County. Looking now, got another report of major road flooding in Mayes County on Highway 69 close to Pryor. So this is going to continue to be a flooding issue as we watch also on the leading edge of this storm complex, these spin-ups that continue to prompt tornado warnings in our area, and that flash flood warning threat that continues as well. Let me expand this view again, and this is our, we've just had a power outage in Broken Arrow too, because you can see on the left side of your screen, we were, and we still are, looking at the armory on the Muskogee Turnpike there, but it was all brightly lit up before. Now the lights are out. So we've got another power outage, which is not surprising given the amount of lightning. It looks like nearly continual flashing. You can see in the lightning, you can see the outline of the building is there, but without the power, lost all the exterior lighting. So another big power outage close to Oneida and on the east side of Broken Arrow too. So it has been a very electric storm with a lot of thunder and lightning rolling through that part of the metro area too. We continue to watch closely in sections of Wagner County too, and so far, I'm not seeing any evidence that we've had a tornado with that circulation, but still the strongest one we've got. Fox23 severe weather team coverage rolls on. Meteorologist Laura Mock continues to also look at these storms. Laura?
And both of our tornado warnings that are still in effect aren't showing definitive signs that there is a tornado ongoing. The rotation with that on both of them have weakened significantly. It's the Wagner County storm that we're keeping an eye, or the town of Wagner storm that continues off to the east, clipping parts of Cherokee County. That is one that we're going to have to watch a little closer just because it has those really strong winds with it. But also I want to point out just kind of the big picture of things. We're now at 10:30 and we still have thunderstorms coming through the area, very heavy rain too. About an hour ago, we were seeing more showers and storms develop off to the south, all of those starting to bubble up, and we had a lot of small rotations with those. And as they got into the big cluster of storms, that's where we were seeing a lot of the issues with those spin-ups, where they were able to strengthen a little bit more. And we have had at least one confirmed tornado near, or kind of in the general Tulsa area, just to the south of Tulsa, Okmulgee County. So as we look at it right now, we're not seeing as much activity bubble up to the south. That may end up helping us over the next couple of hours. We will absolutely still have the potential for those quick spin-ups along the storms that are already ongoing, but we're not seeing as much smaller activity surging north into the main bulk of the storms. So as we take a look a little bit closer to some of those storms, we still have the tornado warnings in effect. I'll go ahead and stop this. We're going to start with the one where we had a confirmed tornado. Now it's just a lot of heavy rain, not a ton of rotation with these storms.